Attention all faculty and students. This is an urgent message from the Maple County School District. A situation has developed in the cafeteria. Please remain calm and follow all instructions carefully. At approximately 10 a.m., cafeteria staff reported irregularities in today's lunch service. Initial observations indicated minor anomalies in food texture and movement. These irregularities were dismissed as mechanical malfunctions. This was a mistake. If the cafeteria food moves, do not eat it. Do not dismiss it. Do not assume it is your imagination. The food is not supposed to move. As of 11 a.m., multiple students have consumed affected portions. These students are now exhibiting severe physical distress. Their chewing does not stop even after swallowing. Their jaws continue working, grinding against nothing until the teeth crack. Some have begun regurgitating their meals, but the food is still moving. Do not approach anyone who has eaten the food. Their stomachs are distending. Audible shifting can be heard from inside. The consumed food is replicating inside them. Some students have collapsed, their mouths forced open by something pushing its way back out. Cafeteria staff who attempted disposal of the contaminated trays are unaccounted for. Security footage shows them lingering near the trash compactor, their hands submerged in the waste bins, fingers working through the leftovers as if searching for something. Their faces are no longer recognizable. Lockdown protocols are now in effect. Do not enter the cafeteria under any circumstances. The serving lines are still active. The steam trays continue to refill. Whatever is inside the food is reproducing. The meat has begun to pulse. The gravy swirls on its own. Do not look at it for too long. Do not listen to the wet sounds coming from the kitchen. A final warning. Do not trust the lunch ladies. They are still serving. They are still smiling. But their eyes are dark, and their mouths are too wide. They keep asking if you're hungry. They won't stop asking. This is not a drill. They're at the doors now. They're knocking. If you hear them singing the lunch menu, don't answer. This is an urgent message from Blackwood County School District. All students and faculty must avoid the school library immediately. Do not approach. Do not enter under any circumstances. This is not a drill. At approximately 9 a.m. this morning, staff reported an unauthorized book appearing on the returns card. The book bears no library barcode or Dewey Decimal classification. Its spine displays only a single detail, the full name of a currently enrolled student. As of this transmission, 32 such books have been identified, each matching a different student's name in perfect handwritten script. The books cannot be removed from library premises. Attempts to relocate them have resulted in irregularities. Custodial staff reported the books reappearing on their original shelves moments after disposal. One teacher described watching a book slide across a table of its own accord, its pages fluttering like something was breathing between them. Do not open these books if encountered. Those who have described identical contents. Page 1 displays the reader's exact birth date and time. Page 2 lists every address they've ever lived at, including apartments they themselves forgot. Page 3 shows a photograph of the reader, taken from behind, inside the library itself. Beyond page 3, the text becomes incoherent. Witnesses report the remaining pages being filled with frantic pencil sketches of their own face in various states of distress. The final page is always damp, always warm, always blank except for a single sentence. Turn around. As of 10 a.m., all library security footage shows an unidentified figure standing motionless in the non-fiction aisle. The figure does not appear on camera initially, only upon playback, always positioned directly behind any student who handled one of the books. The figure's face cannot be seen. Its hands are visible, however. The following students are confirmed to have books in their names. If your name is called during roll call but you did not speak, do not correct the teacher. If you hear pages turning in an empty hallway, walk, do not run, to the nearest occupied classroom. Most importantly, if you find yourself alone near the library and hear slow, wet scratching coming from under a door. Good afternoon, students and faculty. This is an urgent message from Maple Creek School District. At approximately 12 p.m., an incident occurred during recess that requires immediate attention. If you are currently in a classroom, remain there. Do not leave. Do not open the door for anyone, including staff members, until further notice. Teachers, please listen carefully. After recess, you may notice differences in your colleagues, specifically their eyes. If a fellow teacher's eyes appear unusually smooth, no lashes, no lids, just two glossy, unblinking spheres, do not acknowledge it. Do not speak to them. Do not meet their gaze for longer than 3 seconds. We are still determining the cause of this condition, but affected individuals are unaware of the change. They will insist they are fine. They are not. Students, if your teacher's eyes have changed, do not react. Do not point. Do not whisper. Do not ask if they are okay. Affected teachers have demonstrated heightened auditory sensitivity. They will hear you. They will find you. If your teacher begins tilting their head while staring at you, slowly like a bird examining prey, quietly gather your belongings and move to the back of the room. Do not run. Sudden movements provoke them. At this time, we believe the condition spreads through prolonged eye contact. If an affected teacher asks you to look at them, close your eyes and count backward from 10. They will lose interest. If they do not, if they instead lean closer, so close you feel their breath on your face, do not scream. Screaming excites them. Several classrooms have already gone silent following student incidents. We are working to contain the situation. Faculty, if you witness an affected teacher leading students out of a classroom, do not intervene. Do not call out. The children they take will not respond to you. Their eyes, however, will be different when they return. Glassy, wide, unblinking, like their teachers. We have received reports of affected individuals standing motionless in hallways, facing lockers or walls, their necks bent at impossible angles. Their mouths are moving, but no sound comes out. Do not approach. Do not attempt to read their lips. You will not like what they're saying. The final warning is this. If the lights in your classroom flicker, check the corners of the room. If you see a figure standing there, too tall, too still, with eyes that reflect light like a cat's, turn away immediately. Pretend you do not see it. It is learning. It is getting better at looking like us. Attention all students and faculty. This is Principal Hendricks with an urgent announcement regarding the recent yearbook day photographs. If you were absent on picture day but appear in your class photo, do not examine the image. Cover it immediately with black construction paper and report to the main office. The figure in the photo is not you. Do not show it to others. We first noticed the discrepancy during yearbook proofing. Several students who were confirmed absent, some even hospitalized, appeared in their class photos. Their images are slightly wrong. The faces are too smooth. The smiles are too wide. The eyes don't reflect light properly. These figures are always positioned at the edges of group shots, their hands resting on the shoulders of real students. If you recognize one of these figures as yourself, do not panic. The nurse's office has been equipped with special lighting that seems to disrupt the phenomenon. Do not attempt to destroy the photographs. The ink bleeds when damaged and the figures move. One teacher reported watching as the extra student in her class photo turned its head to stare directly at her from the page. We've discovered these images are changing over time. The false students are gradually moving closer to the center of each photo. Their expressions are becoming more defined, more realistic. In Mr. Calloway's homeroom photo, the extra student now occupies what should have been an empty chair. Its mouth is open slightly as if mid-speech. A disturbing pattern has emerged. Students who appear in photos despite being absent report strange dreams. Visions of standing perfectly still in a crowded classroom where no one acknowledges them. They describe an overwhelming need to take their proper place. 3 students have already gone missing after complaining about these dreams. Their yearbook photos now show them standing where they belong. Do not research this phenomenon online. Do not search for your class photo on school devices. The digital versions appear to be aware. IT reports that image files containing these anomalies automatically forward themselves to absent students' email accounts. The attached files are always titled "You Belong With Us." If you wake to find your school ID photo has changed, if your image now shows you standing in a classroom you don't recognize, surrounded by students whose faces blur when you try to focus, cover all mirrors in your home immediately. Several affected individuals have reported seeing movement in reflective surfaces, always just out of direct view. This is not a drill. Stay in your rooms. Stay quiet. If you're hearing this, you weren't supposed to be here. You were meant to stay in 2019. This is a recovered message. Do not turn this off. You might think it's 2025. You might believe time has moved forward, but it hasn't. The world didn't move on. You were pulled out. 2019 was the last time things felt normal. That's because it was real. You belonged there. That was your last correct place in time. Since then, you've noticed strange things. Apps changing their names. Famous people acting weird. Songs that sound familiar but feel wrong. People forgetting things you clearly remember. It's not in your head. You're not in sync with this version of the world. This year is broken, you're living in a fake timeline built from leftovers, and now you're starting to fall apart. Check your screen time. You've been awake too long. That's not tiredness. That's decay. You weren't made to survive here. Have you felt it? The sky looking off. The same ad showing again and again. Time moving too fast. You're not paranoid. You're drifting. Back in 2020, the timelines crashed. Only small pieces were saved. Most people were moved to new timelines, but not you. You were stored, put on pause. Now you're waking up, and your mind wants to go back. That's why your dreams feel like home. That's why waking up feels heavy, like being pulled out of something real. If you find a calendar that still shows 2019, follow it. But be careful. Some paths are traps. Some clocks move backward for a reason. And if anyone tells you 2025 is the best year, run. They know who you were. They want your place. This year is not your friend. It sees you, and it wants you gone. Don't trust the year. It doesn't trust you. Attention all students and faculty. This is an emergency advisory from the school district. Please listen carefully. At approximately 9 a.m., staff reported unusual behavior from a student. This student, you will know them by their constant, unwavering smile, has been observed exhibiting abnormal physical traits and influencing others in ways we do not yet understand. Do not engage with the student who always smiles. Initial reports indicate that prolonged eye contact with this individual triggers involuntary facial muscle contractions in observers. Victims begin to smile uncontrollably, their lips stretching beyond natural limits. The skin at the corners of the mouth splits, yet they report no pain, only an overwhelming urge to keep smiling. If you see the smiling student, look away immediately. Further observation has revealed disturbing physiological changes in those affected. Teeth begin to shift, elongating and sharpening over time. Attempts to manually close the mouth have resulted in severe lacerations. Do not attempt to help those who have started smiling. The smiling student moves through the halls at an inconsistent pace, sometimes appearing in multiple locations simultaneously. They do not speak, but those who have smiled for more than 5 minutes report hearing whispers, phrases like, "It's better this way," and "You'll understand soon." Lockdown procedures are now in effect. The student's original identity is unconfirmed. Yearbook photos from previous years show their face, but the smile was never present before today. Faculty records list no such student enrolled. Custodial staff claim to have seen them standing motionless in empty classrooms after hours, still smiling, long before this incident began. Do not trust anyone who tells you to smile. The affected are no longer recognizable. Their eyes have darkened, pupils dilating to absorb all available light. They are drawn to the original smiling student gathering in silent clusters. Attempts to restrain them have proven ineffective. They do not resist. They only smile wider. Final advisory. Cover your mouth. Do not make a sound. They are listening for breathing. The lights are failing. The doors will not hold. It's better this way. This is an emergency message from Blackwood High School. At approximately 8 a.m. this morning, multiple staff members reported seeing a student matching the description of Lucas Mercer, a senior who passed away in a car accident last November. Security footage confirms an individual wearing Lucas's Letterman jacket, the same one buried with him, entered the building through the east stairwell. The individual moves normally, but doesn't breathe. His skin is dry and stiff like paper left in the sun too long. When spoken to, he responds in Lucas's voice, but there's always a 3-second delay, as if the words are being pulled from an old voicemail. Teachers noted his eyes never reflect light. They remain solid black, even in direct sunlight. At 10 a.m., the fire alarms activated without cause. During evacuation, Lucas was seen standing motionless in the center of the hallway. Students who made eye contact reported hearing whispers in their ears, always Lucas's last text message to them word for word. Those who touched him say his body is cold and hollow like a plaster cast. When the nurse tried to take his pulse, her stethoscope picked up only a faint, looping recording of Lucas laughing. As of 12 p.m., Lucas began approaching his former classmates. He asks them to confirm his memories. Was my locker number 217? It was. Did we have a test on the day I died? They did. If answered correctly, he thanks them. But his mouth doesn't move when he speaks. If answered incorrectly, he repeats the question, leaning closer each time until his lips split vertically at the corners. Do not acknowledge him after 3 p.m. Around this time, his movements become erratic. He begins speaking in reverse, his jaw unhinging slightly with each word. The school has been evacuated, but Lucas has been observed exiting the building through closed windows. The glass doesn't break. It liquefies as he passes through. His shadow no longer matches his body. It lingers in doorways for hours after he's gone, twitching if anyone steps on it. Parents, if your child reports seeing Lucas, do not ask for details. He is drawn to repetition. At 4 p.m., calls began flooding in from residents near the school. Lucas was seen standing in their backyards, facing away until they said his name. Then he'd turn, his neck rotating 360 degrees, and ask about the accident. If you hear knocking tonight, do not answer. It will be 3 quick raps, the same pattern Lucas used on his girlfriend's door the night he died. The district is working with authorities, but as of this broadcast, Lucas Mercer cannot be contained. He doesn't respond to physical contact. He doesn't blink. He doesn't stop smiling. Lock your doors. Turn off the lights. Do not speak his name. Good afternoon, parents and guardians. This is an urgent message from the Maple Creek School District. At approximately 10:17 a.m., an unidentified substitute teacher arrived at Ridgeview Elementary. Staff records indicate no substitute was scheduled for today. Administration attempted to verify credentials, but the individual insisted they were assigned to Classroom 3B. Students in Classroom 3B reported unusual behavior. The substitute does not turn their head to look at children. Only their eyes move independently in slow, deliberate rotations. Their shadow does not match their movements. When the substitute walks, their shadow remains still. When they stop, it twitches. At 11 a.m., the fire alarm sounded without explanation. During evacuation, several children reported seeing the substitute still inside, standing at the window. Their shadow was not cast by the sunlight. It stretched in the wrong direction, toward the children. Do not approach the substitute if you see them outside the school. They have been observed near residential areas, always just after dismissal. Their shadow no longer resembles a human figure. It is too tall, too thin. The limbs do not end. If you see the substitute at your door, do not let them in. They will say they're there for parent-teacher conferences. They will smile. Their teeth are not arranged correctly. All their shadows are missing. Lock your doors. Turn off the lights. And whatever you do, don't look at what's waiting in the dark. It's not the substitute anymore. This is an emergency message from the Pine Brook School District. At approximately 10:17 a.m., an unidentified individual assumed the identity of Mrs. Eleanor Voss, a 4th grade teacher at Pine Brook Elementary. This individual is not Mrs. Voss. The imposter closely resembles her in appearance and voice, but there is one critical difference. It does not blink. If you are in a classroom with this individual, remain calm. Do not draw attention to yourself. Do not make direct eye contact for more than 3 seconds. It will notice. It will smile. At 10:23 a.m., several students reported that Mrs. Voss's lesson had changed. The subject matter was incoherent. Repeated phrases about opening the eyes and seeing the colors beneath the skin. When questioned, the entity claiming to be Mrs. Voss tilted its head at a 45-degree angle and asked, "Why don't you want to learn?" The real Mrs. Voss has been located in Classroom 4B. Her eyes have been removed. The sockets are too wide. She is still breathing, but she will not stop whispering. It's still in here with us. Do not trust any teacher who does not blink. If you observe this behavior, do not speak. It will mimic human speech, but its words are wrong. The sentences will be backwards. The voice will crack in ways a human throat cannot. At 10:42 a.m., the lights in classroom 4B began flickering. Witnesses reported shadows moving independently of their sources. The entity stands perfectly still during these events, watching. Its pupils have dilated to cover the entire eye. If you hear giggling from the hallway, do not investigate. It has left the classroom. It is looking for more students, more eyes. Lock all doors. Turn off the lights. Stay silent. If you see it standing in the corner of the room, do not scream. It will tilt its head again. It will ask, "Can you show me how to cry?" This is not a drill. Emergency broadcast transmission priority alert. Do not ignore. At approximately 3:47 a.m., multiple individuals reported waking up in unfamiliar bedrooms. These rooms appear nearly identical to their own. Same furniture, same layout, but with subtle, unsettling discrepancies. The wallpaper may be slightly wrong. The closet door may be open when it should be closed. The sheets may feel too stiff, too cold. If this has happened to you, do not panic. Do not call out for help. Listen carefully. The room you are in is not yours. It is a replica, and it is watching you. Initial reports indicate that attempting to leave triggers an immediate response. The door will not open. The window will not break. The air will grow thick, as if something is pressing against the walls from the outside. Some have described hearing slow, deliberate breathing from beneath the bed. But when they look, there is nothing there. Do not check again. If you see your reflection in the mirror, do not stare. It may not mimic you correctly. It may blink too slowly. It may smile when you do not. We have received disturbing updates from those who have spent more than 30 minutes inside the replica room. The lights will begin to flicker. The walls will emit a faint, wet sound, like something shifting inside them. And eventually, you will hear a voice, your own voice, whispering from the hallway. Do not answer it. The voice is not alone. As of this broadcast, no one who has responded to the voice has been heard from again. However, several households have reported hearing something moving through their homes in the dark, repeating their own words back to them in perfect imitation. If you are still inside the wrong bedroom, stay silent. Do not move. Do not sleep. And above all, do not let it know you've realized the truth. This message will repeat. This is an official emergency broadcast issued in cooperation with the State Education Department and local authorities. Please remain calm and attentive. We are issuing a mandatory advisory regarding a series of incidents reported in multiple households across the district. At this time, we ask all residents to monitor television activity closely and follow the instructions provided in this transmission. The advisory concerns televisions manufactured before 2009, though newer models have not been confirmed exempt. Between the hours of 2 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock a.m., several families have reported their televisions powering on by themselves. These devices will display static at first. No audio, no clear image. Within approximately 40 seconds, the static may give way to a low, rhythmic clicking sound, similar to fingernails tapping on glass. If you observe this behavior, turn off the device immediately and do not remain in the room. The primary identifier of the affected televisions occurs at the 90-second mark. The screen will go dark. Then a line of text will appear in the lower third, slowly typing one character at a time. It will begin with your name. This is not a software malfunction. The name will be spelled correctly regardless of how uncommon or difficult it is. In some cases, nicknames or private names, ones never spoken aloud or entered into any account, have been used. One family in Granger reported the name Little Bird, a term only used by a deceased grandmother, displayed across the screen before the audio resumed. If the television says your name, do not speak. Do not respond. Do not approach the screen. Turn it off. Pull the plug from the wall. If the screen does not go dark, break the screen. Do not allow it to finish the message. Under no circumstances should you wait to see what happens next. Families who failed to follow this guidance have experienced further anomalies. In one household, a father attempted to record the event. The footage, recovered from a melted phone casing, shows his expression gradually slackening as the TV addressed him by name. At first, he looks confused, then afraid, then grateful. He walks toward the screen, whispering something inaudible. He stands there for over 7 hours, unmoving until sunrise. When his wife returned home, he was gone. The television was still on. His name was still on the screen. In another instance, a child's voice was heard from the living room, repeating the phrase, "I see you now, I see you now, I see you now," until her vocal cords tore. Her parents insist she hadn't spoken in over a year. The televisions cannot be sold, donated, or discarded. Reports show that even when left at the landfill, the devices return. Sometimes they are found in basements, still plugged in. Other times they are simply there on the couch, humming softly, waiting. We urge all residents to take this advisory seriously. Do not attempt to interact with the messages. Do not record them. Do not wait. Turn off the device. If it does not turn off, destroy it immediately. If you see your name, you have already been seen. If the screen asks a question, do not answer. If it smiles, do not smile back. Further updates will be provided as investigations continue. In the meantime, remain indoors between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Cover or unplug all televisions, watch your screens, listen closely, and if the static starts typing, do not read it aloud. This concludes the emergency broadcast. This is an official message from the Lincoln County School District Safety Office. Please remain calm. A shelter-in-place advisory is now in effect for the Pine Hollow area. Stay indoors and secure all basement access points. Multiple residents have reported hearing human laughter coming from beneath their homes. The sound is not random, it is personal. Victims describe the laugh as unmistakably their own. Same voice, same rhythm, but distorted as if echoing through water. The sound begins faintly, then grows louder. Some say it reacts to movement. When called out to, it pauses, then repeats the exact words using the caller's own voice. In one incident, a teacher heard their voice laughing below the floorboards. When they asked, "Who's down there?" the voice replied in perfect mimicry, then laughed again, closer. If you hear your own laughter from the basement, do not investigate. Do not respond. Authorities have reviewed footage from a home where a resident opened their basement door. As they descended, their laughter echoed from behind them instead. The video cuts out shortly after. The homeowner is still missing. Mirrors near the sound may begin to distort, not crack. Shift. Avoid your reflection during these events. Some have reported it smiling on its own. Do not mistake this for a dream or hallucination. Several affected residents have reported flickering lights and all clocks resetting to 3:03 a.m., the exact moment their laughter was first heard. If you live alone and hear laughter from below, you are not alone. It already knows your voice. It's learning your timing, your tone, your breath. Secure your home. Do not answer if it speaks. And if it starts laughing in sync with you, go hold your breath. This message will repeat.